Welcome to the MamasteFit YouTube channel. My name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and a birth doula. And in this video, we're going to be showing you a workout to help you open the bottom of your pelvis or the pelvic outlet. The pelvic outlet is where your baby is going to be coming out when you're pushing. And so this workout is a great preparation to be able to create more space down here for while you're pushing. There's a few muscles that are really important that we either need to release and let go of, or we need to strengthen to help pull the pelvis into more opening. The first is going to be the hamstring muscles, which are on the back side of your thigh, so back here, and then your adductor muscles, which are going to be the inside of your thigh, so your inner thigh. Both of these muscles are going to help you find more internal rotation, so the femur moving inwards, or like the knee kind of moving in with the ankle moving out, creates more space in the bottom of your pelvis. And so that opening there is going to happen with the hamstrings and the adductors working together to help you find that internal rotation. And so in today's workout, we're going to be incorporating a staggered stance, RDL, which is going to be targeting the hamstrings and the adductor muscles to help you find that internal rotation to create space down here. The next muscle that's really important to be able to create more space in the bottom of your pelvis is your lat muscles, or your big back musculature. They attach to a bunch of fascia and tissues that attach to your sacrum, and lat tension helps to pull the sacrum backwards. So it helps to create more space in the bottom of your pelvis by pulling the bottom of the sacrum back. And so strengthening your lat musculature can be beneficial to creating more space in the bottom of your pelvis. In addition, we have a fling of muscles that sit at the bottom of your pelvis known as your pelvic floor. And so being able to release tension in our pelvic floor is really important as we are preparing for birth, in addition to pushing, because our baby has to navigate through the pelvic floor in order to be born. So we're going to be incorporating exercise that helps to release tension in the pelvic floor as well. For today's workout, you're going to need a weight for the staggered stance RDLs. You have the option to add in a banded row. So we're using the crossover symmetry system here that's attached to a squat rack. You can also use like a door anchor and a resistance band as well, but we do want to try to incorporate the row because this is what we're going to be focusing on to help strengthen the lat musculature. If you don't have a band in setup, we can also just do the staggered stance RDL without the band, and I'll show you what that looks like. The first exercise is going to include the weight and the band though. The next movement is going to involve a yoga block and a mini band or a glute band. This is going to be our pelvic floor release exercise and also helping to find a little bit more internal rotation and posterior pelvic tilt to create more space in the bottom of the pelvis. And the final exercise is going to be a back expansion exercise with internal rotation. So you're going to want something soft to squeeze between your legs. I have a Pilates ball here, but you can also use like a soft pillow instead. What we're going to do is 3 rounds of 30 seconds per side of each exercise. So it's going to be about 7.5 minutes total. And we're going to have about 10 to 15 seconds per side so that you can transition between exercises. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting with the staggered stance RDL, you're going to hold the band in the opposite hand of the forward leg, and you're going to hold the weight on the same side as that forward leg. If you're not using a band, you're going to hold the weight in the opposite hand of the forward leg. So holding the band in the opposite hand, weight in the same side, you're going to inhale to reach forward as you find a little bit more internal rotation, and then exhale to come up and row the band. So you're going to reach forward to find more internal rotation. So I'm thinking rotate my belly to my thigh, and then exhaling to come up. So at the bottom, I'm finding length in my lat and my glute, and at the top, I'm finding contraction or shortening of my lat and my glute. So as we do our staggered stance RDL, we're thinking more of like a hinge motion. So I'm thinking my hips to the wall behind me as opposed to the floor below me. Getting ready to switch sides. So switching the weight to the other hand and band to the opposite hand as well. Stepping the other leg forward. We're going to inhale to reach forward, exhale to come up. So inhale to reach forward, exhale to row. So finding that length at the bottom, and then shortening at the top. And as we find the bottom motion, we're thinking rotate that hip towards the thigh or belly to thigh to create more of that internal rotation at the bottom. So at the bottom, you're going to feel more of a stretch in that glute and in that hamstring. So inhale to lower, exhale to come up. Go ahead and release your band, place your weight down. We're going to move on to the all fours hip shift. So we're going to grab our yoga block and our mini band. Place it around the thighs and come into a tabletop position. Then I'm gonna shift my weight over to the yoga block. So I want to be able to lift my lower leg without falling over. If you lift your leg and you have to shift your whole position, we're not shifted over. So I'm in my tabletop position, I'm gonna shift my weight over, and then I'm gonna slightly hover in my lower knee and press that band out. So this lower knee glute is gonna be activated a lot more, which is gonna help drive me into that elevated hip. And then from here, I'm just gonna move through pelvic tilts. So rounding in my back, arching in my back, maintaining tension in the band the whole time. So when I round in my back, I'm thinking drive that lower knee out just a little bit more. So moving through your pelvic tilts, you should feel a lot of movement happening through this femur socket or hip socket area. Go ahead and switch sides. So placing the other knee onto the yoga block. Again, we're gonna shift our weight over so I can lift the lower knee without changing my position. Slightly hover in my lower knee, keep it lower than this yoga block, press the band out, and then move through your pelvic tilts, really focusing on keeping that band tension the whole time. So for me, when I round, I think drive the knee out. Moving on to our final exercise, so you'll take the mini band off and we're gonna grab our soft object. So I'm gonna place it between my knees and then I'm gonna point my toes in for more internal rotation. So next you're gonna grab onto a sturdy structure. So I'm gonna be about arm's length from like my door frame, my power rack, pointing my toes in, and then I'm gonna sit back into my hips. And then it's like you're trying to find like really bad squat form and round in your back. So I'm kind of sinking backwards to feel more of a stretch in this low back. Every inhale, I'm gonna expand my back, and then exhale, almost think like pull baby to spine, like you're trying to pull your rib cage and pelvis closer together, and this is gonna help you sink a little bit deeper. So big inhale to your back, exhale, sink a little deeper. So big inhale into your back. Exhale, pull ribs and pelvis closer together, which is just gonna help you move a little bit more into this rounded position. One more breath here. And then moving on to round number 2. So we're coming back to our staggered stance RDLs, our hips shifted all fours, and then our back expansion exercise. So starting round number 2 with that staggered stance RDL, we're going to inhale to reach forward, and then exhale to come on up. So we're finding length at the bottom, shortening at the top, and then at the bottom, we're thinking rotate the belly towards the thigh for a little bit more internal rotation. When you're at the bottom, really think drive through the big toe. This is gonna help to turn on the inner thigh and hamstring a lot more as well. Sometimes there's a tendency to kind of roll to the outside of the foot. So big inhale to lower, exhale to come up, and let's switch sides. So bringing the weight to the other hand and band to the opposite hand. We're gonna step the foot forward. So again, we have opposite sides working together now. We're gonna inhale to reach forward, exhale to come up. Big weight in that big toe at the bottom, keeping that knee stacked over the ankle the entire time. So we don't wanna roll to the outside of the foot. We're gonna keep weight stacked through the foot to help target the hamstring and the adductor muscles. Again, those two muscles are really important to help pull the pelvis into that internal rotation, which is important to open the bottom of the pelvis. So moving on to our all fours hip shift with the mini band. So I'm taking my glute band or my mini band, I'm putting it around my thighs. I'm gonna come down to my yoga block, shift my weight over, slightly hover in the lower knee, tension in the band, and then I'm gonna move through my pelvic tilt. If you don't have a mini band, you can do this without a mini band as well. You can just do the same hip shifted movement with pelvic tilt. I find the mini band helps me move a lot deeper into it, so I have more of a release in my pelvic floor and in my hip. So every exhale, round in your back, think drive the band out a little bit more. And then switching sides. So we're gonna come to the other leg now, shift the weight over, slightly hover, drive the band out, and then move through your pelvic tilts. So again, if you don't have the mini band, just do the pelvic tilts with the hip shift. The mini band just helps you move a little bit deeper because it's activating the opposite glute, which helps you move into more internal rotation in the elevated hip. Moving on to the final exercise of this round, which is gonna be that back expansion breathing drill. So grabbing your soft object, you're gonna place it between the knees, and again, point the toes in for more of that internal rotation. Grab onto your sturdy structure. We're gonna sit back, and then find that bad squat form, so round in the back. Big inhale into the back, exhale, take round a little bit more. The goal is to get about 10 breaths in this position, and each breath you should feel like your lower back is like stretching or releasing a little bit more. So you can think like breathe into the back half of your pelvic floor and then exhale to lift up in the front half of your pelvic floor, which can help release tension in the back half of the pelvic floor, where a lot of us tend to hold a little bit more tension during pregnancy. So moving into our final round now. If you felt good after the 2 rounds, you can just turn this video off and move on with your life. But if you want to do a 3rd round, feel free to move with me. So grab onto your weight and your band. We're gonna go back to those staggered stance RDLs. So opposite leg is forward, and at the bottom, I'm reaching forward and then exhaling at the top. So inhale to lower, exhale to come up. And again, focus on rotating that belly to thigh at the bottom, weights in that big toe, keeping that knee stacked, and you're gonna feel it a whole lot more in that hamstring and that glute area. So inhale to lower, exhale to come on up. Go ahead and switch sides. So placing that weight in the opposite hand and switch the bands. We're gonna put weight into the opposite foot, and then we're gonna inhale to reach forward, exhale to step back. So keep weight in that big toe, knees stay stacked over the ankle, the front one, in case you were confused. And the effort's all in this front leg as well. So the back leg's just there to provide a little bit of support and balance. Inhale, reach forward, exhale, come up. Moving on to our all fours hip shift. So grabbing your mini band, putting it around your thighs, and then we're coming to our yoga block, shifting the weight over. We're going to slightly hover in the knee, press out the band, and then we're gonna move through our pelvic tilt. So rounding in the back, pressing that band out more, and dropping the belly to the floor. And again, you should feel like a lot of stretching kind of happening in that elevated hip, maybe in that back half of the pelvic floor. Continue to keep tension in the band. About 1 more movement here, and then let's switch sides. So place weight into the other leg, shift the weight over, slightly hover in the knee, press the band out, and then move through your pelvic tilt. So drop the belly to the floor, round, press that band out, and just move through. So inhale to feel your back expand. Exhale, move a little deeper. One more here. and let go. Now let's move on to our final exercise, which is that back expansion, grabbing onto your soft object. We're gonna place it between the thighs. Then again, toes are gonna be pointing in. And when we're done with this 30 seconds, if you wanna stay longer, feel free. The goal is around 10 breaths here. So we're gonna shift back into the hips, round in the back, and then big inhale into the back side of the body. Exhale, try to bring the ribs and pelvis closer together on the front. Big inhale into the back half of the pelvic floor. And then exhale, think lift the front half of the pelvic floor up. And that concludes today's workout. So this workout was focusing on opening the bottom of the pelvis, with focusing on strengthening the adductors and the hamstrings, which help pull that pelvis into internal rotation to create more space in the bottom of the pelvis by spreading those sits bones further apart. We're also incorporating a lat strengthening exercise with the banded row, where we use the crossover symmetry system. If you're interested in the crossover symmetry, you can use code MamasteFit to get 20% off your own shoulder system. With the banded row, it's helping to increase the strength of the lats, which helps to pull the sacrum backwards, create more space front to back. Then we moved on to a pelvic floor release exercise with our yoga block and mini band. This mini band is also from crossover symmetry. We're focusing on releasing the posterior half of the pelvic floor and doing some pelvic tilts to increase the range of motion of the hips, which again are really important to creating space within the pelvis. We finished up with our back expansion exercise, which is going to help you find more of a posterior pelvic tilt, release tension in your lats, because finding more of a posterior position can actually make internal rotation easier to find. So that was also a pelvic floor release exercise, a lat release exercise to help you find better positions to create more space in your pelvis. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we release new workout videos. We release about 1 to 2 new workouts every week that are focused on supporting you throughout your pregnancy and help you recover in the postpartum period. If you want more from us, you can join our online prenatal and postpartum fitness programs. Our prenatal fitness programs are offered in the Team Builder app in a traditional style workout delivery. And we also have on-demand videos that are similar to this, where it's a video that you follow along and work out with us at the same time. If you're postpartum, you can join our postpartum fitness programs, again, also offered in the Team Builder app or as on-demand videos, so that you could find a program style that works best for you. You can explore all of our programs at mamastefit.com/fitness-programs and use code YouTube10 to get 10% off anything that we offer online.